Alo, xin chào các bạn. Hôm nay mình sẽ thử làm đề thi tiếng Anh vì có một số người trong bình luận hỏi Duy có thể làm bài thi này để xem nó có khó khăn. Rồi mình sẽ bật một timer. Rồi, mình bật nó lên. Ok, mình sắp hết pin nhưng mà mình sẽ dừng lại cái timer của mình ở 35. Ok rồi, mình đã trở lại và có timer ở 35. Ok, rồi mình đã làm xong và chỉ còn 20 phút nữa. Mình sẽ grade cái bài này để xem điểm của mình là bao nhiêu. Rồi, hẹn gặp sớm. Mình cảm thấy rất kém nói tiếng Việt về chủ đề này. Vậy thì mình sẽ nói tiếng Anh và nói chậm và rõ để bạn có thể hiểu. Okay, so I just finished taking this test. I went through and I graded it to see what score I got, and I got 36 out of 40, which is 90%. And I mean, that's not bad. That's an A minus, which is great. I don't know what the grading scale is in Vietnam. I've never actually looked at that. I'm assuming you do letter grades, but I don't actually know. Anyways, got 90%, 36 out of 40, and I did it in about half of the allowed time. So I did it in 30 minutes instead of the full 50 minutes, which is pretty good. So I was kind of rushing through it, and obviously I'm a native English speaker. So it's going to be a little bit easier for me to understand what's being said. And that's honestly one of the biggest things about this test that I think is really difficult, honestly. I mean, I cannot imagine taking this test in Vietnamese. If I were to do this exact same kind of test and it was fully in Vietnamese, I don't think I'd be able to do very well, honestly. And this test, I think, reminds me a lot of what I would see within like IELTS tests and things like that, because it's very heavy on vocabulary and grammar. And for me, again, as a native English speaker, it's a lot easier to just kind of feel what answer is right. Not always is that the case, but sometimes it's a little bit easier just because I know English and it's intuitive to me. It's natural, it's comfortable. So that's one of the drawbacks, or one of the really hard things about this test, is that it's all in English. All of the instructions are in English, all of the answers, all of the passages, everything about that is in English. So if you have slow reading and comprehension skills when it comes to English, this is going to be a very hard test, because that is most of it, is being able to read enough and be able to read it fast enough and understand it, and understand the questions and understand the answers. There's a lot. This is like, honestly, this is kind of a test that I would have taken, like a standardized test that I would have taken in high school. Over here we have a test called the ACT. There's also an SAT. Where I'm at, we don't typically take the SAT, but this is very similar to what was on like the reading and the English grammar sections of my high school tests. And those were things that we had to study for as native speakers. So to be taking this as a high school student in Vietnam in your second language, maybe third language, I don't know how many you're learning, but that's a lot. That's really hard. Like, honestly, that is a very difficult thing to do unless you are almost fluent in English already. So I don't know what the standards are for learning English in Vietnam, but you have to be at a very high level to be able to do really well on this test, because it really is a lot of reading and a lot of understanding. And it also uses a lot of difficult vocabulary that you might not normally come across. And that makes it hard as well, because if you don't know the meaning of the words and they're new words, then you can't like guess what it is. It makes it a lot harder. And just so we're clear, I took the test number 1102, which is mã đề thi 1102. Yeah. And yeah, again, this is a pretty tough test, and this is about what you would expect to see on an American high school student's college entrance exams. Like, that's pretty normal. So this really is a hard test. I don't know, again, how much you've been taught, but it is tough, and I will say that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different than what I've been doing lately, where it's mostly listening practices, and I'm sorry that this one is in mostly English. I just don't know how to share this in Vietnamese in a way that will be effective and efficient. So I tried to make it as easy to understand as possible. I tried to talk slow and clear. And if you have any other questions about this, or you have specific questions on this test that you want me to go over and explain what they mean, I'll give it my best shot. I'm not like an English teacher by any means, but I will give it a go. If you want me to look at specific questions, you can send them to me. If you want to keep practicing your listening skills, feel free to check out this video up here. It's great. It'll give you a chance to listen to some real English at the real speed. And thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. And until next week, we'll catch you later.